another relaxing day that I don't have to work. So just taking the bus again, crossing the Fraser River. So the weather these days in Vancouver, it's been pretty cloudy. The sun is playing peekaboo a lot behind the clouds. So just taking the SkyTrain to Nanaimo station. And then taking bus number 7 for about 10 minutes. While waiting for the bus, I got the time to look at these beautiful reproductions of sketches by an unknown artist of different locations of Vancouver. Really inspiring. And I'm getting off at East First Avenue. Yeah, the weather is getting better, and you can see this is a lovely community in East Vancouver. Yeah, so these houses on the other side of the street will be part of my sketch. The cafe I'm going into is To Live For. It's pretty popular. A lot of people I know have been to this cafe and they really recommend it. Yeah, so it looks like they have a lot of nice things on the menu, and I think I'm going to try one of their croissant sandwiches. They have a lot of bakery pastry items as well. So I ordered a croissant sandwich with egg, ham, and cheese and sausage, and a cup of matcha latte. And yeah, so before eating and drinking, I'm going to sketch my cup of matcha latte, starting with the ellipse shape and the left side and the right side of the glass. The brim, nice and thin, and the swirl of a heart in the middle. And these lines, it shows the thickness of the base and the surface carvings, liquid line, accentuate a little bit. That's it for the cup of matcha latte. Now drawing the contour outline of the half croissant and these little wrinkles and folds. Yeah, it's in this really nice shape of a seashell. Moving towards the filling area of the sandwich, the cheese, the egg, and the ham, adding a bit of loose lines to suggest the wrinkles on these ingredients. The bottom half of the croissant, everything's landing on the flat platform, and some more wrinkles and folds for the bottom of the croissant, and that's very much it. Drawing the outline of the little plate with the brim is looking thicker in the front. And I just drew the curve inside the dish to show the interior 3-dimension. Now it's time to have fun painting watercolors. So I just wetted the sandwich area with clear water, punching on a bit of diluted yellow ochre for everything. Yeah, inside and outside, they're all sharing the same base color. Some more yellow orange for the cheese, using a bit of value transition, playing with water control. More yellow orange for the next layer of the croissants, shell shape, and burnt sienna for the sausage. And the next layer for the croissant is a more concentrated mix of orange and burnt sienna, leaving some parts from the previous layers unpainted to let the croissant really shine and look even more attractive than it seems. Some more darker browns, just very tiny bit, not overly using dark browns. And it's time to move on to paint the matcha latte, starting with diluted yellow-brown, which is lemon yellow mixed with lime green, super diluted. Second layer, wet into wet, more pure lime green. Lime green mixed with a tiny bit of viridian green for some little darker shades. And it's very creamy. Yep, more viridian green on the body part of the latte. The surface of the latte is very creamy, so no overpainting, just one layer is good enough. Now painting this green grayish plate using leftover grays in my palette. And don't forget painting the shadows so your things stand out better from the page. Yeah, and the inner wall of the plate. Final polish, just a little bit of contrast on the brim of the latte, and that's pretty much it. The shadows are very gentle this time because I have a huge window right in front of me. Yeah, so that's it. Here's the look of my finished sketches. It took me about 15 minutes to draw and paint. Time to enjoy the matcha latte first. It's actually so good. It's actually the best one that I've had in a long time. After nourishing my body with food and drink, I'm ready to nourish my spirit with art again. So it seems like there's nothing out there, right? But I got really inspired by the one-point perspective of the street right in front of me, right here, and the houses and foliage on both sides of the street. and ready to get started drawing now after pencil drafting for about 3 to 5 minutes, starting with the house on the left. And there's a cherry tree on its left, obstructing the side a little bit, and there's a car on the bottom of the tree, the bottom of the roof, and the chimney. It's a really lovely little structure. A few more shrubs covering part of the windows. And then finishing the chimney is a very long rectangular prism shape. And then adding on another tree overlapping in front of the house. Yeah, there are a lot of overlapping relationships to see and deal with, expanding these branches out from the trunk and the twigs, forming the canopy shape of the tree, and adding these leaves very loosely using squiggly lines as usual. My way to tackle trees and foliage. Yeah, so most deciduous trees' canopies are in the 3D shape of organic spheres. And then adding some more shrubs or whatever that is. I think these are large shrubs behind the tree but in front of the house. And a sign standing on the sidewalk, suggesting the side of this house and not other neighbor's house. A staircase going upwards towards the entrance. And some more bushes and the staircase visible in between the leafy clusters, suggesting a couple more windows there. That's the very foreshortened view of a neighbor's house at the back of the stop sign, and the first tree that I see aligning on the sidewalk. These are the loose branches and the twigs that I can see expanding into the canopy area. And these are in segments because the leaves are covering many parts of these branches, drawing the organic contour outline of the tree's canopy, and then the inner details, the texture of leaves using little squiggles to give a sense of puffiness here and there. Yeah, overall it's a very fluffy tree. The trees in the far distance, they look smaller and more skinny compared to the one in the front. Adding these cars, these are just like the front views of cars, and the cars are getting smaller and smaller towards the back. Both the street and the cars are disappearing at that vanishing point, yeah. And some more smaller cars, the cars are getting a little bit bigger as they move closer towards us. Suggesting these car forms in very simple, just a few lines done in just a few seconds. The thickness of the curb in the front. Now I'm ready to plant more trees on this side of the street, starting with the trunks and just a couple major branches. These leaves are kind of merging with the ones on the other side of the street. Okay, so just try my best to trace out what I see. Yeah, this is the shape of the canopy that I roughly see and feel. Yeah, so overall, I just love this scenery. It's actually rare to have a view like this outside a cafe or a restaurant window. If you want to have a view like this, you probably have to sit in the middle of the street among all the traffic. So this is pretty rare, and I just want to sketch it. Adding a lamppost on the corner of the sidewalk, and suggesting a bit more foliage in between, defining the sidewalk here in the front, adding some taller bushes. There's just a really high percentage of foliage in this urban landscape. Yeah, and some more fluffiness over here towards the right, the roof of a house and the chimney. Another house behind, a little taller than the one in the front, drawing this cedar tree in the very back, adding a good balance there on the upper right. Finishing up the contour outline of the rooftop and this last lamppost on the right hand side. So I like these lampposts and electricity posts that really add a nice sense of balance and rhythm, yeah, for this urban landscape. Some more abstract shapes of the houses, the windows. Just keep it really simple because this is the side. This area is the edge of my sketch and it's fading away. Yeah, keep it really loose and simple. The negative spaces of the cedar tree, accentuate a bit here and there, and I think that's very much it for the line work. Okay, time to get entertained with my watercolors again. I'm using my Mungyo watercolors and my trusty Holbein water brushes as usual. And I'm going to start painting the sky. Sky is in the very back, so most of the time I start painting the sky first before everything else. So just wetting it with clear water first, so the blues and grays is going to spread out nice and smooth. This is a little diluted cerulean blue, the negative space in between the large clouds. Okay, and there's another pocket of blue over here. The clouds are tearing apart, showing a lot of these beautiful pockets of blue here and there, and closer to the horizon as well, keeping my cerulean blue pretty diluted because the air is transparent. The blue sky is very different from a solid blue wall. As I'm painting these large pockets of blue sky, I'm also defining the contour outlines of these clouds. And right now it seems like I'm painting nothing, but I'm actually painting the underpainting of everything under the sun using this super diluted yellow ochre, because from my sensational eyes, I'm able to see these warm yellows under the sun on a bright sunny day, giving a lot of warmth to the environment. Okay, so now I'm going to show you my recipe of greens when painting foliage, playing with lime green, yellow ochre, and viridian green. So this one contains a pretty high ratio of yellow ochre mixed with lime green. No viridian green yet. Okay, wet into wet, viridian green. So starting from here, the tree is shaded. And there's a bit of luminosity of yellow-green over here. Yeah, wet into wet. It's so much fun and sensational, so don't worry about the merging of these colors. They're supposed to be nice and loose for an organic feel. And some more viridian green. I also mix in a little bit cobalt blue into viridian green for the darkest shade. So this is the lower part of the tree's canopy, shaded by the houses and other things around, so not getting a lot of sunshine. And this tree in the back is mostly shaded. So they're just using pretty much pure viridian green. Next tree, the top of the canopy is getting a lot of sunshine, so yellow-green, and then viridian green, playing with water control as well. So every brush mark is a different value of green. And adding some more bright yellow greens for those foliage in between these trees, the shrubs. Yeah, so these areas, they are kissed by the sun, as I feel, blending on some lime green and viridian for the bottom halves of these shrubs. So always being mindful of keeping a good balance of warm and cold greens. Some more warmer greens for the tips of these shrubs on this side of the street, and then shaded on the bottom sides. Okay, so now I'm going to take a break from painting the foliage and adding these warm colors of browns for the chimney and the exterior areas of the houses. Mostly just pure burnt sienna in slightly diluted version. And now I want to shade these clouds lightly with leftover bluish gray. Yeah, just keep the value of the bluish gray really light so they don't look like storm clouds. Yeah. But these clouds still need to be shaded to achieve a sense of three-dimensionality, the puffy shapes of organic spheres. And then coloring in this house was green turquoise. And another turquoise house there. This one is a brown house. And it's time to paint the cedar tree, starting with a medium green, viridian green mixed with a tiny bit of yellow ochre. The edges of this tree is a darker tone of green. And then painting the lawn with medium green. Yeah. Just final polish for the foliage areas and just dotting in these little leaves for this cherry tree. The canopy is much looser compared to the other trees. Painting the tree trunks and branches with brown. and the darker shade on one side to give these trunks more three-dimensionality. And these browns are really nice, echoing with the colors on the croissant. And now I'm gonna have fun just using these little dots of dark browns to depict the shingles on the roof. And because this house is pretty close to me, I want the roof and the chimney bricks to look more sharply detailed compared to the other areas, which are more far away. Another layer for these tree trunks and this roof over here. Yeah, the browns are very nice. That echoes with the colors of the croissant. And moving on to the last stage of this painting is to intensify the most shaded areas using very bold and intensive dark shade of green, playing with viridian green mixed with burnt sienna and a little bit of cobalt blue. Just for the bottom 20% of these trees' canopies, which should be the most intensely shaded. Yeah, just using these large punches of dark green brush marks. Merging most of these marks together into large chunks of shaded areas instead of individual dots here and there. Painting the shadows of these cars, which are pretty long, using leftover grays in my palette. And then painting these green electricity posts and lamp posts. Final polish here and there, almost invisible brush marks, and then intensify this cedar tree into a darker green silhouette. And shadow under the roof there, shadow here, a little bit shaded here in the middle of the street. And there's actually a bit of pink-purple foliage over here in this area. Tiny little bit of shades here and there to intensify some small areas. And that's very much it. So here is the look of my finished sketch. It was very satisfying to turn this ordinary scenery into something much more lively than it seems. Okay, now I got really inspired by the babies in the strollers outside. Here's one of the baby boys, and they are just perfect models, sleeping still in the strollers, just getting this chubby hand in. Yeah, they're pretty easy to sketch because they're not moving at all, sleeping. Just getting the strap and the belt, they're done, and the other super chubby hand and dangling on the other side, and then the pants area, yeah, more straps. And the other baby boy woke up and he started crying, so I had to use my memory to get his face done. So I just got the hair area done, the forehead, the lovely little ear here on one side, finishing the bit of hair there. So here is the look of my finished sketch of the babies and the overall page spread. I took 2 hours at this cafe, sketching and munching on my food and drinking my matcha latte. So see you next time in the next video, everyone. Enjoy your day. Bye.